the second time that they've played Partizan Belgrade in European competition. The first was in the mid-60s in the Fairs Cup, and they remain the only British team to have beaten Partizan, one of the great names of European football. He played in the first ever European Cup in 1955. He's played in it many times since, and indeed are more experienced in European terms than Leeds. This is their 122nd European tie. Technically a home game for them, but at the moment it's Leeds in the driving seat. This is Mills. That was a hand from Stanijevic. Slightly unfortunate the way that the ball bobbled and rolled up his body, but Leeds will accept the free kick.
Oh, definitely handball, Stanijevic. I think defensively as well. We mentioned the number 3 Savic, the keeper. I mean, they haven't been convincing. You can see was it Spartak Moscow beat them in the Champions League, didn't they? 5-1 on aggregate, and it's at the back where they've looked vulnerable.
Bowyer making the run as Hopkin swung it towards Bridges, but he didn't get as far as Bowyer. Mills. Bowyer offside.
Kezman looked good, the number 14 you mentioned. One or two European scouts might have been looking at him. I'm sure David O'Leary just mentioned to the likes of Jonathan Woodgate, who's marking him now. Look, good test for you, but for a 19-year-old, got good touch, good vision, a lot of confidence.
This is Stanijevic. Razovic. It'll take a while for Partizan to come to terms with only having one striker to look after. It's this man, Bridges, dispossessed by Trobuk. The expectation in the Partizan camp was that Leeds would start with 2 men up front. So it's a tactical ploy that so far has worked very well for David O'Leary and Leeds.
Chances are with the cut that I'm sure he's had stitches, he's certainly had a new binding on the head. Michael Bridges, perhaps 15 minutes, 20 minutes, perhaps John in this half, and then the likes of Huckabee or Smith, I think, would be the introduction from David O'Leary there.
Trobuk. Leeds with numbers back behind the ball. Lay off by Kezman to Georgia Tomic. Now by Hart. Tomic again. Iliev. As we were, the fact that Partizan Belgrade have won 4 of their 5 meetings with British opposition. It wasn't just any old British opposition, they actually knocked Manchester United out of the European Cup at the semi-final stage in 1966. The other victims include Celtic, Queen's Park Rangers, and last season Newcastle. Batting. Mills. On the line by Kelly. Stanijevic is the Partizan defender. Bridges is appealing to the referee that Stanijevic got the last touch.
Showed himself well though, Michael Bridges, up front. I mean, not easy, young player in Europe, and having to hold it up while people join. As we mentioned, there's been good support from midfield, but I think he's been very aware of those runners and linked up the play well.
Backing in. That's the offence by Iliev. Scored the winning goal for Partizan in their most recent league game against Proletaire, the league leaders, on Friday night, Iliev. Fair to say there are not too many names of teams in the Yugoslav League that I would recognise straight away, apart from Partizan and Red Star. This is Hopkin. Tomic fouled by Hopkin. And the fact that Partizan have gone, 27 league matches unbeaten, spread over 16 months, indicates as much about the weakness of the league overall as about their own particular strengths. This is Ivic. Iliev has pulled away on this near side. Now Tomic. Savic. Trobok. Patient by Partizan. Kezman, this is where he's dangerous, and Woodgate made sure that the danger didn't manifest itself.
Tomic, the number 10, is a good playmaker in the centre though, very well. Lovely weighted pass that was into Kezman, shaped to shoot, turned inside, looked for the free kick or pen, but I don't think it was.
I saw a shot of Kezman there. He and Woodgate, in fact, are old adversaries. They played against each other twice in an under-18 international. You may remember there was a game at that level a couple of years ago which was notorious in that Michael Owen was sent off, and that was the match in which Woodgate and Kezman met at Rotherham of all places. Here's Harry Kewell. Good surging run, delayed cross, there's Bowyer! Just too high for him. Hopkin. Gary Kelly. Now Bowyer again. Batty. Kelly.
Gave it away there, but it was good build-up play earlier. Killed it very well down the left, shaped to centre it. Had the pace on Savic, got a good cross in it, just cleared Bowyer, who again found space, was unmarked.
Mills. Demeanours of the two coaches. One animated and one not. Tomic. Only Kezman in the centre. Martin has come for the cross. Savic. Trobok. What should Partizan's game plan be now, Trevor? Because a 2-1 home defeat, which is what this effectively would be, is no use to them at all. Kezman. Ilic. Leeds defending stoutly. Header away by Mills.
Well, they're very neat in midfield. I mean, the number 10, Tomic, everything revolves around him, and they feed through to Kezman. The number 17, Iliev, hasn't quite got into game as effectively as a striker, and probably more than anything up to now, down the right-hand side, they've had very little. Savic has been so occupied with Kewell, and Ivic, the number 18, hasn't had as much as the forward I'd probably like to see if I was their coach.
Tomic. Ivic. Martin anxious to avoid that going out for a corner. Was almost another nasty moment.
The grimace says it all. As you say, he was trying to stop it going out for the corner, and then miscued it with his left foot. But fortunately, Ivic wasn't quite awake. It was a bit firm as well and rebounded off him, but it could have been an embarrassing situation.
Hard. Awkward ball to deal with. Kewell. The runner from midfield is Bowyer. Stojic is the defender. Mills. Radebe. Bowyer. Nicely done to Gary Kelly. Bridges, all bandaged up, is waiting for the cross. Too long for him and the goalkeeper. And Leeds have got the decision.
Bowyer's played very well today. I mean, getting forward, making dangerous runs, finding space, linking up the play. Definitely well worth thinking about, I think, for an England look at. We need creative midfielders, don't we?
Howard Wilkinson must watch Leeds these days and smile knowingly at the progress of some of the players that he brought to the club. Hopkins' cross. cause any danger to Partizan. But I think he made Lee Bowyer the most expensive teenager in Britain when he signed him 4 years ago for just over £2.5 million. It's a title now held, of course, by Robbie Keane. Bridges looked for the foul, wasn't forthcoming. Kezman, lovely footwork to get away from Woodgate. He's got runners left and right. Kezman slipping it through for Ilic. Too much weight on the pass. Savic. Ivic. Partizan with 3 inside the penalty area.
Good break, Kezman again, the focal point. Very bright, quick of feet, go either way. Very impressed with him.
Savic. Kezman. And he took the ball very cleanly. And here's Harry Kewell. Such an elegant player, whatever he does.
How do you play advantage there? I mean, Janic, I mean, it was a blatant body check, wasn't it?
Seems to have taken a blow to the jaw. Shades of the World Cup as the golf trolley comes on.
Well, here, surely, this is just a blatant body check. He's come off worse, but it had to be a free kick.
Kewell was even elegant in the way he accepted the body check, I think. It was a wonderfully balanced play.
Not sure about hanging on the end of that buggy. Wouldn't like to see him brake quickly anyway. You'd be off again, wouldn't you?
This is all rather dramatic, isn't it?
That was bizarre, wasn't it? I mean, that was enough to make you wake up and get fit on the pitch again quickly, isn't it?
Well, remarkably, Stanijevic is now fully recovered. Scared to his wit's end, I would have thought, by his taxi ride.
I wonder if the old buggies are going to be a feature of Euro 2000. They might be all dotted around the country waiting for the teams to arrive next summer.
Bridges. Kelly. Bowyer. Kelly was shoved away from the ball by Kristajic. And Leeds have the free kick.
Not too subtle, was it? Kristajic decided not to go with the runner and just to balk him.
The Leeds delivery from these positions has been of a high order throughout the game. The usual suspects are inside the penalty area. Mills, Woodgate, Radebe, Kewell and Bridges. In by Hart. Used the others as a decoy.
I wondered if the two on the wall, which were not going to do much at all, was going to be too tempting. Look, they're a waste of time where they are, and in there they weren't needed. So the temptation to try for the near post was too much.
Radebe. Ivic. Tomic. Played by Radebe. And the bridge is up, of course, for Leeds. Tomic. Left by Mills. Difficult for the supporters inside this stadium that holds around about 14,000 people to make too much by way of atmosphere, but those Leeds supporters away to our left are doing their darndest to give their backing to the team. One of their less vocal moments, but it's been a constant barrage of noise from them.
It is quite warm here, but not quite that warm either. A few have stripped off from their Leeds shirts.
Kelly, back heel to Bowyer. Almost played Mills in. Ilya. The referee didn't like the attempts of Mills to halt him. David O'Leary is up off the bench, questioning the referee as to why the free kick was given in the direction that it was. Tomic, scorer of the first goal for Partizan. Kezman, this is better from Belgrade. Tomic's cross, and Radebe took it out of his own keeper's fingers.
Excellent play by Tomic again, the number 10. Reminds me a bit of a Sanovic, the Croatian who used to play for Derby, and all left foot. Nice touch, vision, and good weight of pass.
Ivic. Tomic. Trobok. Ilic. Now Batty for Leeds. Not really Leeds style just to sit on a lead.
No, I don't think it is, but then you've got two legs in Europe, and you'd have snatched the hand off to get a 2-1 win away from home. And although you think that Partizan are a bit vulnerable defensively, I'm sure Leeds just a bit wary of throwing too much caution. But I think Michael Bridges been up there by himself. It shouldn't be too long before we see a change there, just to help that lone striker bring on a fresh player.
Well, Alan Smith is warming up much more vigorously than at any previous stage on the near touchline. This meantime is Ivic for Partizan Belgrade. Savic. Ivic, who can hit them with either foot. Kuhl. His assistant waved play on, there was no offside. His distribution wasn't as good as his defending in the first place. This is Tomic. Kezman, good work by Hopkin and then Mills. Batty. Kelly urged to go forward from the bench. Bridges and Kuhl are available for him should he be able to cross it. Here's Bowyer. There's Kuhl. Razovic must get a boot to it first. Mills.
Harry Kuhl just coming from the left, going towards the near post. He was the only option in there. Danny Mills just over hitting it, clearing everyone.
Strange that Leeds' away form has been much better than that at Elland Road so far this season. They've won 3 of their 4 away matches and only 1 of their 3 at home. Kuhl. Hopkin ahead of him. Kelly is well advanced inside the penalty area. Stanijevic doing his best to hold Kuhl up. Ilic. Ivic. Tomic. Trobok. I've often seen him get forward. Free kick has been given for Iliev's attentions on Mills.
Again, good, neat midfield play, and David O'Leary just making sure that they don't give him too much space in that area. Tomic in particular, number 10, still trying to dictate play. Number 18, Ivic, is a decent player. Just want to make sure that that final ball doesn't open up and find a gap in this Leeds defence. It has tightened up, I think, in the second half.
Hart. Has been put right out of the ground by Savic. It'll be on the Dutch equivalent of the M6 now.
He's that close as well. It could well be bouncing down the motorway.
Michael Bridges may not be out there for too much longer, because those Leeds supporters are giving plenty of encouragement to a whole band of substitutes that are warming up down below us. They're subdued at the other end. Bridges. Batty. Hopkin. Offside flag is up. That was another debatable one.
Dubious. Ustajic, the left back over this side, number 20, looked as if he was playing most of them on.
Mills. Ustajic. Mills being urged to hurry up by the German official. Stanijevic. Kesma. Back by Hart. It's fair to say that the game as a spectacle is not hitting the heights that we enjoyed in the first half, but from Leeds' viewpoint that doesn't really matter.
No, I think it was David O'Leary felt it was even a bit too open. I mean, Leeds did very well to get back into the game, having gone 1-0 down, but now having got that lead, I think that little bit of caution and perhaps making sure that they've got that extra man in midfield defensively that perhaps they didn't have in the opening 20 minutes.
Partizan is seeing a fair amount of the ball. Nigel Martin hasn't had too much to do in the Leeds goal. Ustajic. Stanijevic. May not just be Leeds who are about to make a change. There's some movement down on the Partizan Belgrade bench as well. David Batty. Bridges. And the award of this free kick will allow the substitutions to be made. First of all, Partizan's change, and Milorad Pekovic, a striker, is replacing Ivica Iliev. Pekovic, a Yugoslav under-21 international, who has scored 3 times in 8 games so far this season. And great applause now from the Leeds supporters for Michael Bridges, who's making way with just over 20 minutes to go, replaced by the precocious talent of Alan Smith. He's still a month short of his 19th birthday. If he scores, it'll be a good day for Leeds, because every time he scored in his fledgling career so far, Leeds have gone on to win the game. Trobok. Oh, Radebe lost it. Kesman. Ivic. It's a mazy run and Woodgate has halted it. Smith's first touch to Cure. Smith's This addition will add a little bit of aggression up front for Leeds. It's a very combative player. Slotting in alongside Kezman up front for Partizan, and Smith a straight swap for Bridges. Forward by Tomic, too long for Kezman.
Yeah, it's both been straight swaps really. Pekovic, 23, coming on as a partner for that man Kezman, who's worked very hard, but Iliev hasn't quite been able to have the same impact and probably needed that change.
And Bowyer is appealing for the corner. The referee says goal kick. O'Leary guided Leeds to 4th in the Premiership in his inaugural season of management, and they're 4th again in the embryonic Premiership table this time around. Ilic to Ivic. Kezman. Mills. Kelly ran valiantly trying to keep it in. It was an unequal struggle. Marty Haaland amongst those continuing to press their claims from the sidelines. Radebe, Bowyer. Trobok was first to that. Kezman in a little bit of space. He loves to turn and run at defenders. He's got Trobok outside him. Batting. Keel, Stanijevic has gone across. Those two have met before.
Different result this time. Harry Keel's down. The old golf buggy's hovering just on the touchline now, but this time he tried to knock it past him, but there was no contact with the ball.
Contact with the player. David Swift, the Leeds physio, is waiting on the near touchline to be summoned, but there's no wave from the referee. It's a very belated decision to allow him on.
I think if you saw the challenge, you could hardly suggest that he was feigning injury. It was a pretty physical one when they hit each other here, and whether it's winded, the knee, I think it could have been anything, and could have even heard it on impact. But
it's a sad sight for Leeds to see someone as influential as Kuehl being carried off on a stretcher. Leeds have won the free kick. In reserve they have Keaton, Haaland, Danny Hay and New Zealand centre-back Bakker and Huckabee on the bench. And there's Woodgate rising for the free kick, where the goalkeeper again was very uncertain with the ball in the air, and he got away with it.
I mean, Kuehl gives them such balance down the left-hand side, they'll be reluctant to take him off, but there's no point in taking a chance. Somebody like Haaland, probably more likely one than an attacker like Huckabee, because you're 2-1 up and there's no need to go looking for an extra goal.
Pekovic. Kezman advancing towards the penalty spots. This is Trobok. Ivic is wide on the far side. It's Trobok's shots. A yard over the bar.
He hasn't ventured that forward that much. He does a sort of David Batty role that Leeds does, sitting in front of the back four, and Trobok has come but what, 25-30 yards out. Nigel Martin fairly comfortable with that.
Harry Kuehl is back on with the referee's permission. moving too well. Bowyer, offside against Smith. Alan Smith has made such an impact since that day when he came on at Anfield, and within 4 minutes of arriving as a substitute had scored his first Premiership goal. And Smith beneath this ball. Played by Kristajic. Ivic. But Pekovic making a decoy run ahead of him. Now it's Tomic. Just outnumbered. Cure. Batty. Done with a bit more space. Created some. Referee eventually decides to play the advantage. Kelly. 3 poised on the shoulder of a defender, and Smith has beaten a lot of them. The angle is tight, and Damianak's made a block he would have expected to make.
Well, once he's taken it with his right wider, it really makes a tight angle. I wonder if he might have tried the early clip here, Alan Smith. He was there just as the keeper come out, but once it's gone wide there, it's a tight angle. Made it easier then for Damianak.
So much has happened to Alan Smith in such a short space of time. He really knew he'd made it when he was asked to switch on the Christmas lights in his hometown of Rothwell. Hart's kick. Oh! Well, you wouldn't want him as an outfielder in your cricket team.
Do you reckon that was a punch, or do you think it was the old bar slope job through the hands?
The technical term, Trevor, is a flap, isn't it?
Wasn't convincing. He is a Yugoslav international, you say, or in the squad.
He's the number 2, number 1, if you see what I mean.
I believe you.
He was on the bench in Dublin when Yugoslavia played the Republic of Ireland a fortnight ago. Hart with another corner kick, met by Ivic. Hopkin. Kelly there ahead of Kezman. Kristajic. Rashovic. Ilic. Trobok. They were blessed with options. Savic has spent the last couple of minutes on the far touchline without anyone within 30 yards of him, but Partizan have yet to spot him. Pekovic. Through for Kezman. Leeds holding firm.
Kezman just pointing that didn't want it through the middle, he just wanted an angle ball. That's where he made his run. He's got to get on the same wavelength with Pekovic, only just come on.
Bowyer. Kelly. Here's Smith. Stanijevic hoping the ball will go out of play. The referee unhappy with the attentions of Smith. Free kick given and very quickly taken, but not to the referee's liking. Not quite sure what the referee does for a living, but wouldn't be a surprise to look in the UEFA handbook and find that he's a parking attendant. There's a certain attention to detail.
I think all those parking attendants are going to write into you now, Chambers, for that.
German ones are different, Trevor, I've always thought. Batting. Bowyer. A very good game, Lee Bowyer. Not just his goal, a real driving force in the central area of midfield for Leeds. Targeting against Mills. There's a degree of uncertainty on the Partizan bench as to whether or not to make another substitution. Consensus of opinion seems to be that they will. Here's Kezman off against Woodgate. Pekovic. Bowyer's tackled. Smith. Hart. Trying to attract the referee's attention to make their substitution. They're going to send on Marian Gerasimovski, a Macedonian international, in just a second. Leeds have drawn the sting from this contest pretty well in the second half. Mills. Kelly. Push in the back of Alan Smith there by Rasovic. Now it's time for the change. And it's the captain who's coming off. Sasha Ilic, for someone to hand the captain's armband to. And Gerasimovski coming off. Ilic didn't take a blow to the side of his head a few moments ago. But Gerasimovski is a regular in the Macedonian side. He'll be one of those that will stand between the Irish and a possible place in the finals of Euro 2000 in Skopje next month. Hopkin. Hart, he'll be playing for the Irish, one imagines, that day. Bowyer. It's a nice turn and a good shot! Well, that sums up the goalkeeper. It sums up Lee Bowyer's afternoon. And it sums up a very satisfactory day for Leeds United.
Well, a terrific strike again with his left foot. Certainly clinches his man of the match, I would have thought. But I mean, the keeper's Damjanats. Good turn on his left foot. Decides to have a ping 20 yards out. And I just can't believe the display from the goalkeeper, can you? I mean, he never looks as if he's going to stop it. It's like a basketball player who tries to flap and catch a ball, and he's so uncoordinated. Are you sure he's not a ringer? He is a Yugoslav international. I'm taking you on your word here when you told me that before the game.
I don't think there are too many people called Nikola Damjanats, do you? Gerasimovski. Radebe still alert at the back. And Hart tangling with Ivic. He thought about retaliating. Kuzman and Hopkin having a few words as well. There's some nonsense over very little, really. Very few words are necessary.
Ian Hart just gave a little nudge to Ivic. That's what turned around the retaliate. It's very important for our Leeds. 3-1. You know, the game is safe. Excellent scoreline. It's going to be a little bit stroppy, a bit of verbal perhaps in the last few minutes, and very important for them not to react and retaliate, get into trouble.
That was Kewell's shot, which the goalkeeper did very well to stop, given his previous effort. Ivic is a little fired up at the moment. Hopkin rode the challenge of Tomic and fed it through to Harry Kewell. Smith's made the run in the centre. You can't blame Harry Kewell for fancying his chances.
A good run. He hits it well enough, but it is a decent height, isn't it, for Damjanats? Probably a bit of self-preservation. He felt he better stop that one as well. But good strike. Harry Kewell, as I say, should score more goals. I mean, he gets in some excellent positions. I know David O'Leary would like to see him more on the score sheet for the amount of opportunities he gets himself.
Hart's corner. Into Kewell. Hopkin. 4 to aim for with the cross. Flag is up against Woodgate. Possibly Smith in the centre. The worry was who would replace the 20-odd goals that Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank scored last season. And the answer is, as Leeds ponder whether to spend some of the 12 million they received, or any more of the 12 million they received, that the goals are coming from throughout the team. Lee Bowyer 2 from midfield, Radebe a centre-back with the other.
Somebody saw the Radebe goal in action and they might check up to see what position he was. They might think he's a £10 million striker or something.
I'd imagine this would exceed David O'Leary's expectations of today's game, particularly against a side that he knew precious little about.
I think that was a key fact. Also, you know, they are a young team, but they are skillful. They've got a lot of experience, and although it's a neutral venue, it was the sort of game that could have they could have come unstuck. They conceded the early goal, but it showed a lot of character. It just shows the growing confidence within the club, I think, that Leeds United can come back and win here 3-1. All they've got to do now, as you've mentioned earlier, really, they've got to just transfer that sort of bit of development of their game at home now, which in the Premiership they've struggled a little bit. When the onus is on them to come and open up sides, when sides are sitting back at Ellen Road, that's when they've struggled a little bit. On the counter-attack away from home, when they just break quickly and effectively, they've been excellent.
Ivic. What a raucous version of the national anthem is being sung by the Yorkshire Choral Society away to our left. Ivic has hobbled off, seriously close to that golf buggy. This is Trobok. Gerasimovski. Georgia Tomic. Pekovic. Mills quickly in. Radebe. Smith. As he goes ahead of him, Kuhl is through the middle. Samujevic was uncertain whether to make the tackle and then fouled Harry Kuhl. It's the third time that those two have clashed in this second half.
Good bit of play by Alan Smith. Held it up well and then switched it into the middle to Kuhl. And a last-minute substitution, last throw of the dice.
There's Nenad Stojakovic, who's a midfield player, replacing the stricken Ivic. Shouldn't make any difference to the outcome. At the moment is looking like a comprehensive victory for Leeds. Free kick has been taken too quickly. Damianat has given an eccentric performance, to say the least. This is within range for Ian Hart's left foot, but Gary Kelly, his uncle, may fancy it with his right. No, it's going to be Hart. Typically well struck, just a bit too high.
Yeah, Spurs know all about that left foot, don't they? But quite a long way out. But I think with Damianat's display, I think anything in their half there is worth having a shot at goal on.
Woodgate has been pulled up for an arm in the face of Pekovic. Gerasimovski. Trobok. Kristajic. Inside the last 30 seconds of normal time now. I'm just waiting for the fourth official to produce his electronic board, which tells us that there are 2 extra minutes to be added on. Like an arm from Kezman. Not long now for Leeds. Kezman feeling his back, and Nigel Martin sportingly put the ball out of play.
I think they just had a little challenge, a little bit disconsolate there, don't they?
The prospect of the journey back on the buggy, I think, isn't it?
But Jonathan Woodgate's played pretty steady at the back. I mean, hasn't been in his best form so far this season, but he's going to be an excellent young player. Already got international recognition, and he's played pretty well at the heart of the Leeds defence today.
Trobok. Pekovic. Leeds need to continue being watchful. Martin grateful to allow it to drift wide. Years ago this week, Leeds enjoyed their record European victory, 10-0 against a side called Lynn from Oslo. Yes, this was never going to be in the same sort of area as that in terms of a margin of victory. 3-1, better than they would have expected, better than they might have hoped. And the ball's been given away to Smith, might be better still. Stanojevic finding Savic, blocked by Hopkin, clearance by Stanojevic. Here's Kelly, shadowed by Kristajic. Seems to be a hand in the face of the Leeds player, Bowyer. Ambitiously, even have half an eye on a hat-trick. But this, I think it's safe to say, should be the last act of this first round, first leg tie in the reshaped UEFA Cup, because we've had the 2 minutes of added time. And Leeds are hardly committing too many men forward for this. Woodgate staying back, Radebe's going up. Hart might just try another direct crack. It would be a bonus if it went in. No, it's Hopkin. Didn't quite work out, but that can hardly be said of the evening as a whole, which has worked out perfectly well for Leeds United, who win this first leg tie by 3-1, courtesy of a goal in each half from Lee Bowyer and a magnificent piece of body readjustment by Lucas Radebe. Partizan ahead early on when Nigel Martin's error let in Georgia Tomic, and the Leeds hordes are claiming